Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth over the weekend said Washington will bolster its defenses overseas to counter rapidly developing threats by China, especially in its aggressive stance toward Taiwan. NTD's Dana Monahan has the takeaways from the Shangri-La Dialogue Global Security Conference in Singapore.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. is increasing security in the Western Hemisphere, taking back the Panama Canal from what he described as the malign Chinese influence.
China did not build that canal. We did. And we will not allow China to weaponize it or control it.
Hegseth called China's behavior towards its neighbors in the world an urgent wake-up call.
President Trump has also said that Communist China will not invade Taiwan on his watch. So our goal is to prevent war, to make the cost too high, and peace the only option.
The defense secretary says the U.S. does not seek conflict with the communist nation.
But we will not be pushed out of this critical region. And we will not let our allies and partners be subordinated and intimidated through its massive military buildup and growing willingness to use military force to achieve its goals, including gray zone tactics and hybrid warfare. China has demonstrated that it wants to fundamentally alter the region's status quo.
China protested against Hegseth, calling it a threat. It accused him of ignoring the call for peace from regional countries and of advocating a Cold War mentality. Australia is also sounding the alarm on Communist China's actions.
What we have seen from China is the single biggest increase in military capability and build-up in conventional sense by any country since the end of the Second World War.
Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles says Australia wants to see strategic transparency and reassurance provided by China.
And an understanding of why it is needed to have such an extraordinary military build-up that China is engaging in.
Hey, how you doing? How are you?
Hegseth has urged Australia to substantially boost its defence spending to 3.5% of its GDP as soon as possible, saying the investment would help maintain peace through strength in the Indo-Pacific. The Philippines says you only need to look at how China treats their much smaller neighbors to envision a China-led international order.
What the Chinese government considers fair and just may stand in stark contrast to the norms and values accepted by the rest of the world.
Meanwhile, Lithuania says the United States' strategic focus on the Indo-Pacific is both justified and necessary, but not America's responsibility alone.
And the convergence of Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea into an increasingly coordinated authoritarian axis, let's put it diplomatically, demands an equally unified response by us.
And the Dutch are warning that Chinese cyber espionage targeting the Netherlands is intensifying. The Dutch defense minister said Saturday that the Chinese Communist Party is especially focused on stealing advanced semiconductor technology.